Morning, folks. Damn it. Was just 30 minutes into this video when I found out I was still on insect autofocus. That's bullshit. Anyway, I forgot something. I forgot to tell you why I think it is so important to keep your Camino Spirit alive, to take it back home. Now, whenever you walk the Camino and you meet random pilgrims, you will soon find out that there's almost nobody that has no cracks, no flaws, no traumas. Everybody somehow broken. And that's why I always try to encourage people to walk alone, at least in the beginning, for some time. And to deal with themselves, to work on their traumas, deal with their flaws. It's so important. And maybe, or hopefully, at some point, you ask yourself the question, is the life that I'm currently living the life that I want to live? Is it the life that I deserve? And once you ask yourself this question, you're on a good way, my friend. Now, people say, if you don't love yourself, how can anybody else love you? That's a good point. The same works with respect. If you don't respect yourself, how can you expect that you get respect from somebody else? And maybe you figure out for yourself that you are a good person and that you deserve respect and that you have boundaries, that you have limits. And once you recognized your worth, once you recognized that you have limits, it opens so many doors. I remember when I came back from my first Camino in 2015, I was back in the office, sitting at my desk, my boss rushing into my room. Oh my God, that you're back, we have to do this and this and this and that. I said, no, stop. We don't have to. The only thing that we have to do now is I have to arrive, then I have to take care, then I feel good. And once I accomplish that, I come to your office and we talk. Now he was gasping a little for air because he wasn't used to that kind of reaction. But anyway, later I went to his office and we talked, and he asked about my Camino experiences, and I said, you know what? I learned one important thing. I don't need much to be happy. All I need is a roof over my head, something to eat, and friends. That's all. I don't need this particular job. I can work in a supermarket. I can clean the streets as long as I can pay my bills. So what? I only work here because it's fun for me to work here, because I like the people I work with. But I don't need this job. And once it's no fun anymore, I'm out of here. I have no emotional connections to this company. And you know, funny thing is, Nowadays, there's those, they always say this magic word, commitment. You have to commit with the company, you commit with the company goals. Is with the correct preposition? I don't know. I don't care, you know what I mean. They expect commitment. Why? Commitment is like respect. It's not a one-way road. You have to understand that your company doesn't commit with you, with your life. At the end of the day, you're a full-time equivalent on a spreadsheet. Once you're gone, it is -1, easily replaceable, no matter how good of a person you are. That's it, that's business. This is okay, but don't try to screw me. After all, it's business. You have a contract. I give you my time. You give me your money. The company is not your family. And your boss is not your friend. Will never be. Another short story. One day, the CEO of a different location was calling, was very upset because something went wrong, and he was shouting at me all of the time. And I just listened in silence. And when he has finished, I said, you know what? You now think about who do you think you are talking to, and if you think it's appropriate, and then you can call me back. And I hang up. And some 10 minutes later, he called and was calm and peaceful. I know many people are annoyed when I say, oh, another short story. But I always tell those stories to make you grasp my point. Once a year, we have, let's say, annual performance review. Well, with our team leader and wage negotiation, stuff like that, you know. And last year was the first time that our CEO, the boss of the bosses, wanted to participate. Amazing. First time in 9 years. Now, first of all, we talked about all the figures and raises and bonuses, stuff like that. And after the business stuff was finished, I said to him, you know what? I don't like my work. I don't like working at all. I prefer staying at home. But I have to come here because I like paying my bills. But anyway, the fact that I'm here, the fact that I do this job is only because I'm capable of doing it. I'm good at it. And that's where I take my satisfaction from. I do something that I'm good at it, That doesn't mean that I like my job. I also like cooking. No, I hate cooking. I like eating. You get the point. And I said, as long as the company treats me good, you have a loyal employee. As soon as that isn't the case anymore, as soon as I feel treated in a not a good way, I'm out. And as I said before, I have no emotional connections to this company. But I do a good job. I know that. You know that. So treat me well. And we remain partners. And he said, wow, I appreciate your honesty as something that I can work with. It's amazing. Thank you. And my boss of the bosses, I work with him more or less close together. He knows he can rely on me. And I know that he knows he can rely on me, and I know that I'm good at my job, at what I'm doing. It's win-win. You don't win anything when you are something like, oh yes sir, I do sir, thank you sir, yes, I'm not worthy living, I'm not worth walking on this planet, thank you sir so much. First of all, it's disgusting. Second, I don't think that bosses want those kinds of employees. Now, apart from that story, after my Camino, I set limits and I learned to say no. Now when somebody's calling, either if he wants something from me that he can do on his own, no. Or if it means that I have to do overtime so that he can go home, no. I have a contract, 40 hours, and I do that, period. And if I work overtime, which sometimes I do it because I decide to do it. Of course, I'm honest with you, it is a little risky. Now, if you're bad luck, could happen that your boss says, now with this attitude, I don't think you have a future in this company. But if your boss reacts like that, are you sure you're in the right company at all? And of course, this was all more or less work related, but this applies to any kind of situation. In relationship, when you go shopping or whatever, just insist on your limits, on your boundaries, and say no. If you are not willing to respect me and my needs, I'm out of here. No discussion. One thing that I learned on the Camino, that I figured out for myself, that I decided for myself, I'm a good person. I'm a good guy. I'm an awesome guy. And if you don't see it that way, it seems like a you problem. Now some people might say, this sounds a little arrogant. But if you look behind that, it's said by people who are either weak or who don't respect you. It's like with friendship. Once you set your limits, your boundaries, people who didn't respect you before, don't respect you now, they will leave. And the people who respect you, they will stay. And that's the people who are worth it. So as I said, it can be risky in some situations, and some people might not be able to deal with that. but give it a try. Be a dickhead for yourself. Now, my brother once said, there's one thing worse than losing. It is not taking the opportunity to win because you didn't try at all. Let that sink in. Now, to sum this all up, take the Camino Spirit with you. Know your worth, set limits, demand respect, and life will be so much easier. Promise. Anyway, this being said, by the way, in 2 weeks, a big interview with Sylvia is coming up. Again, this being said, stay safe, stay healthy, stay tuned, stay strong. Buen camino.